There's a scale. I'm just saying this is also, we're talking about sneaky. We're talking about when you're questioning, why can't I lose weight? Why can't I get in shape? Why can't I get, my skin to clear up? Why can't I have my digestion work? These are the things that I think people are getting duped by. Oh, shoot. I did a yoga warm-up in my second class yesterday, and they were just like kind of antsy. And so we did a low lunge, and I was like, punch, punch. Everybody, punch, punch. Like air punches.
That's funny. I'm sure they like that.
They're just like, you're a crazy person. Well, especially that age, they don't think I'm funny. They're just like, she actually, they always think I'm being serious.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just like, but it worked.
Yeah. How about this noise?
Gross.
Yeah. I think you did the last asshole or not, so I think it's my turn.
Yep.
And I think we talked about it on one of the other episodes or alluded to it, but mine is
I love how we start this episode. We're like, okay, let's not start it so slow. Let's start it
immediately negative.
Is it the most on brand?
Yeah. Let's just talk about what we hate about everything.
Okay, sorry. What's yours?
And it seems like it's more so here than anywhere we've ever lived. As soon as the frickin' stoplight turns green, immediate honk. It's like, I don't even have time to take my foot off the brake and move it to the gas, and they're already honking. It's like they're hovering, have their hand on the horn waiting for it to turn green just to push it. It's like, what is your deal?
I would be curious if it's what age group, if there's a consistency with what age group is doing this.
Oh, it's old people. It's old people.
Because if it's older people, I wonder if there's this, they are on the road already mad because
people on their phone.
People are on their phone and they don't understand that. So they're just assuming I'm sure everybody's on their phone because it's stoplight. So I'm going to honk because I'm already assuming that they're doing something wrong and not going to pay attention. That time of when it switches to when someone is releasing off of the brake, it seems so much longer than it probably actually is.
Yeah.
Because they're wanting you to be.
Yeah. They're
wrong.
Anticipating it.
Yeah.
We got to close that.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I'll just spin it.
Thank you.
You got 14 lines on your face.
Oh.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. And I think, I don't know, to expand on it, it's that, but just unnecessary honking in general.
Mm-hmm.
It frustrates me so much. And it's always too, you can tell by the type of honk what the intention is, kind of thing too. It's these people aren't it's not like the light turns green and it's waiting, and then they give a little meep.
Hey,
time to go.
Up. Yeah.
It's as soon as the light turns green, it's
yeah.
Oh, it drives me crazy. There's nothing more in this world that pisses me off than driving. I can't happily drive. I am just so annoyed and frustrated the entire time.
Yeah, I think it's the microcosm of all of the crappy things about people are happening at once. It's going into a Walmart or something. It's just everybody has to do this thing. Everybody has to come here. Everybody has to drive. So you're just around the people that you normally would not be around. The driving thing is hard for me because I know I'm not a good driver, but I really try to be aware of the things that I'm bad at, because I don't want to be that annoying person that's in the left lane going slow or, merging stupid or whatever. But
I could do a whole podcast on driving, a whole episode of just what is annoying, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. I have very strong opinions on driving.
Well, and I wonder also, Texas, they were just very crazy drivers. Like they were
They're
real
aggressive, yeah.
And it wasn't even California aggressive. California aggressive was like efficient. Texas was reckless.
Yeah.
It was like they were able to drive this whole time like this, and now there's thousands and thousands, a million more people here, and they just are still driving crazy, but there's just more people, so it's so much more dangerous. Here, this is just a hot take. I wonder if people are so bad at driving here because a lot of people travel from the East Coast where you don't do a lot of driving. And now they're here and you have to. That's like you're dealing with 60, 70-year-olds who are just now kind of starting to drive frequently.
Yeah. Well, I think that too, just of how many people are coming from different areas. So that every
different
area's
driving.
got kind of different things that you're supposed to be doing and not supposed to be doing. That, yeah, I don't know. It is the worst here. It's the worst for sure. It's no wonder like car insurance is insane here because it's so bad. I mean, it's like you'll be on the highway and there's somebody in the far left lane going like 45.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's like a daily common occurrence that you just have to like be weaving in and out because people don't follow the speed lane on the left side.
I know.
It drives me nuts.
Those things, they drive me nuts because it just shows. It's what I ask all the time. Is this extreme selfishness or are people or like lack of understanding? You know, like,
Well,
do you just not know, or are you that unaware, or do you care that little about other people?
And I think that's what's...
Because some of the stuff we see is so crazy that you almost question, like, maybe they just really don't know.
And that's where I have no patience for it. I don't have any compassion for it. It's like we all went through driver's ed. We all have been driving for so long. Why are you in the far left lane going 45?
Sure.
And like, you're not supposed to do that. And you could see the speed limit signs. It says 70.
Sure. Well, that especially.
So why are you going that slow?
Yeah.
And then the people too that are just like on their phones, even if it's in the far left or middle, and it's like you're going 70 and then you're going 85 and then you're back down to 65. It's like, set the cruise.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I have so much.
I think that one doesn't irk me as much just because I don't drive that much. So I don't notice it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, as a passenger, you're not as frustrated about stuff. But when you're driving, it's annoying because you're
having to deal with it as the driver. Yeah.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
That's a good one, though.
Drives me crazy.
So asshole or not, I feel like...
You're an asshole. Well,
all of these really are truly like, no, we're just pointing out.
Yeah. We just don't like this.
We've already decided that it is.
Well, we did the airplane food one, and that one we were actually like, no, you're not. Like, it's too awesome. See, we're good. We got it.
I think
to me, this one was like, it's kind of the easy, I don't know. To me, it's the easy decision of like, yeah, you're being an asshole. But I think the question is like, the light turns green. You want to make sure that you get through the light. Do you honk? Do you not honk? That sort of thing. But I think to make it more like a choice.
Yeah.
It's like, how many seconds do you wait before honking at a green light? What makes you an asshole? And then what number of seconds make you not? Is it 5 seconds?
That's what I was going to say. 5 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4.
3 seconds.
5. 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to say 4.
Okay.
I'll give you a 4th second, but then
if you have the ability to know who's in front of you, that also makes a difference. If we have been driving past each other and I see that person is constantly on their phone, they're swerving in and out of the lanes to begin with, so I'm assuming they're probably on their phone when they get to the light, then I might go 3 to 4 seconds. If it's just like I'm just waiting, then I might go 5. I probably would never honk. I probably would sit there the whole way.
Well, and then there's that too, like the type of honk you're giving.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be light, real light, just a meep.
Because I think I would also not want people to think I'm the issue, especially if I'm the second car. I don't want people to think it's me holding up the line.
Oh, how about that? That's not even it's like for sure you're an asshole. You're the second person in line and there's a third or fourth person that's honking for people to go. It's like,
yeah. But that's always how it is.
If you think I could go, or if I could go, I would go. Why are you honking?
That is
you're
one thing.
5 cars back.
Yeah.
Like, you're just selfish and want to get through the light. That's why you're honking.
That's the one thing with the honking I really get mad at if they're honking at me. If I do something wrong, I really hate when I do. So you're just like pointing out how I'm bad at or I'm just not good at this. But I get it because also sometimes it's for safety. It's the turning, like you're at a stop and you're needing to cross traffic to turn left. But it's like just a stop sign. Or not a stop sign, but something where
there's
you basically have to
going
wait
and you
for
have to
people.
wait. Yeah. It's more of a judgment call rather than like you have the right of way.
And then people honk. It's like, if I felt safe to go, I would go.
Yeah.
You see I'm paying attention because I'm constantly like moving up a little bit. So I'm not just like on my phone. I haven't moved. Like I am showing you that my car is being driven and I'm aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
I clearly didn't feel like that was a smart call to go, or I'm going to cut someone off if I go at that time.
Right. To where the person behind you probably would.
Yeah.
They
so
probably
like,
would.
Don't honk at me.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What do you think I'm going to go faster now? It's like, I'm aware that you're behind me. I'm aware that like I can't just sit here all day.
I have had so many fantasies about somebody honking at me at the green light and I just sit there. I don't go. Just to prove a point. Like, don't honk. It just turned green. Now just sit there.
The one time that I would maybe like that is that one lady that got honked at, but she was waiting for a fire truck.
Oh yeah.
So it's hilarious. Just like, you're so stupid.
Yeah. And that one was funny
like
because
that shows how selfish and in your own world you are. Like, you didn't hear the siren.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was funny too because it was one of those where it was like as soon as the light turned green, they immediately honked. And it was like, oh, you're being a prick. And then
she gets to go.
There's a fire truck. And I totally shut him up. It was perfect. It was amazing.
Just to clarify, the lady that wasn't moving, she was in like
a golf cart.
Golf cart type of thing. Yeah. That's why she could say that to them. But
yeah, it was great. But I want to just sit there if I were to get honked at, because it's usually they're not even honking at me. Like, it's not even me that's at the like I'm on the right side and then it's the person on the left that's honking at somebody else in front of them. Like, it's not me that's not paying attention or like I'm just witnessing somebody's getting honked at because they didn't go in 0.0001 seconds. So the person honks. I'm like, oh, if it was me getting honked at, I would fight the urge I'm just going to sit here.
But wouldn't that show them that you're still doing the wrong thing?
No, because I'd put the thing in park and then stick a finger out the window.
I hope I'm not in the car when you do
Or
that.
I would just turn around and look through the back and just look at them and just stay there. That was really big.
They'd make a fuss and then go around you.
They would try, but if there's another lane of cars,
they'd cut those people off.
Probably. But it would serve me.
Oh.
I would get my enjoyment out of it.
No, I wouldn't do that. Because then it's like, yeah, they're somewhat right then.
No, they're not right.
But how do they know?
This is their consequence.
How do they know that you're sitting there because of it's a choice and not because they were right initially where you weren't paying attention?
Because I put it in park and flip them off or something.
Oh.
It's like
Yeah.
I'm not just going to sit there and not move.
Sure.
Because then they'll just keep honking or whatever. Like, I'll show them, like, I heard you, but you're being a prick.
Yeah. I would enjoy it more if there was a reason that I wasn't moving. So then I could just call them out. Not just like
the fire truck example.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's not a reason.
No, I know.
They're
That's
just
like
honking just
in
to
this
honk.
scenario, I wish that like if I were doing your thing, I would want there to be a doubling down of like I'm doing it and you're not.
Yeah.
Being aware.
I'm a mean person. I want to do it just to prove a point.
You know,
Just
that's
to ruin their
interesting.
day.
That's interesting because you are mean like that, but you don't do it. Like you don't act like that. You're not really like that to people to where I don't really think I'm like that, but I do that. I would never do that scenario, but like my proving a point, getting justice, having to like have people know that they're wrong. I need that. I feed off of it to where you don't really care.
No, I just want them to feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah, but I do too. But you don't really do that much.
No,
To where
it's
I
usually
don't
not worth the
necessarily.
time. Because now it's like, now I'm sitting here wasting my own time. So it's really like the joke's on me.
So how's that any different than the car example?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying is like with that, like that's probably why I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, now like I'm just wasting my own time. And was that really worth it? And it's like, they're not going to change.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I would want to like get out of the car and go up and be like, let's have a conversation about this. Why are you doing that? To where you can't have a conversation with them.
Right. Yeah.
Like they're just going to blow by and go away or whatever. To where I'd want to sit down and have a 15-minute conversation about why they're being an asshole and to stop doing that.
Yeah.
And then hear what they have to say about it and then go, okay, but no. Like the light just turned green. To where that's not going to happen.
Right.
So to where now I'm just wasting my own time. And now I'll never see that person again.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I get that. That's not how I reflect on that, but I understand where your point is with that. I think I just want people to feel judged in that moment.
I want them to change.
I mean, sure, that would be ideal.
I don't care. I don't care. And that's why I was like, I probably wouldn't even do it because they're not going to change.
Yeah.
So then anything I do, whether I go or stop and wait and whatever, they're not going to change. So it's like whether they feel judged or it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to change unless I could have a conversation with them, which even then they're probably not going to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're meaner than I am.
Yeah, I am.
You just want them to feel bad.
And it's only, I don't know, because like there's also part of me that is so, I want to like protect everyone's feelings all the time. Like I don't want anyone to feel any sadness ever.
Except for when someone's mean. You get like, it's like all.
It's like I want to fight the bully.
Yeah, it's like all. What do they say? What do they say? What's that phrase? All bets are off. Like if somebody's mean, you're like, okay, no rules now.
Yeah.
And no rules, and I'm gonna get you. Like you can.
I know. I don't know what the heck that is.
0 to 100 is perfect because that is totally that is what you do.
I know. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know why I do that. It's not like, because yeah, it is. It's not like a very easy scenario of, oh, I see someone being mean to someone else, and then I want to be mean to the bully so they get it. It's not that because I don't know. It's like, okay, example of if it's like we're at the gym or I'm down in the regular gym or whatever, and there's this one guy that goes in there and he turns the lights off. He like it's basically screaming. Like it's not even grunts. Like he is making, like he is yelling. He's dropping weights. He's
obnoxious.
Plays his own music super loud on the TV. And it's just like, you're so, and that's where I get the honking. Why that also is just annoying is we typically don't like loud noise for no reason.
Yeah, like unnecessary, just loudness.
That's the same guy that came into the gym and just like throws his phone on the ground and chucks his keys across the room. Like, you're making such an entrance just walking into this place.
And so loud.
And then you're just treating it like this is your own.
And nobody's here.
Yeah. And like doing it in such a way that's so. It's stuff that already bothers me personally. Like the dropping the weights and the making super loud noises. It's like, don't you realize like other people are in here? Just like the such in your own world, not even lack of awareness. It's like you don't even have the care to have the, even if you knew, or like even if you are aware, you're not caring enough to. No. And I see this guy at the pool too. It's like, this is just his attitude with things.
Yeah.
I want him to feel judged in the gym. I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why do you think you get to be like that? You're ruining it for everybody in here, and people are leaving the gym because you are being so obnoxious. And his kids are like that.
Yeah.
It's like the kids are the one that are like dumping the juices in the pool and running around and throwing the food on the glass thing by the pool. It's like, oh, you are bringing more yous into this world, and that's so frustrating.
Noisy, more noise.
Noise and just like such lack of respect for other people's property as well.
Yeah.
Like people's space, people's property.
People's
you're
ears.
just like, you're so not, I don't know, being just like a good person to society.
Well, like you said, it's just unnecessary. It's like you don't have to throw your keys across the gym and slam weights and grunt and scream and all that sort of stuff. It's just it's like it's worthless. It's just like an ego thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like he's just big ego and thinks he's cool and whatever. Thinks he's cool if he throws his keys across the room. It's like when you start to break that stuff down, it's so stupid. It's like you think you're cool because you walk a certain way.
Yeah.
Like how dumb. Or you like toss your stuff down like you're so cool. Then you're grunting because you're freaking working. It's like,
yeah,
it's just all ego.
Yeah.
It's like none of those things are necessary.
Yeah. Yeah.
People will people.
People will be people, and
we're people. We suck too.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a sucky thing that I just said.
Yeah.
Like that's a mean thing that I want him to feel judged, or that I want him to know that like that's an insane grouping of actions.
We're spending, 20 minutes just judging people.
Yeah.
It's like we're shitty too.
So bad. So bad.
Judgment corner. Yeah. That's what it should be called. Judgment corner.
I feel like my energy is very draining right now.
That's what happens when you talk shit. Just all of it gets sucked out of you and you feel hopeless.
Like I feel like I need a zap of energy.
Well, here's your zap of energy. By the title, you can probably guess what we're talking about. I think this is a good thing to talk about because there's so many people that are trying to be healthy and then they're making choices that I don't even think it's their fault, because these things market themselves as healthy so much of the time. Mm-hmm. So we each kind of thought about 5 different food products or whatever, stuff that you consume that we think is kind of sneakily unhealthy. And most of the time it's because they're marketed as like the healthy alternative, or, you hear about this thing and how it's good for you, and then companies start to make it, but then they make it to taste good and whatever. So it's actually not even what is healthy. It's the thing, but it's not a very good thing for you. So we thought it would be cool to go through though. Like the things that like I brought 5, you brought 5 that we think are the worst ones, the sneaky worst ones. Let's go 5 to 1. I always like going that way.
Oh, you like ranked them?
Oh yeah, I ranked them.
Oh, I didn't rank them. I just kind of did, but I probably could rank them in the moment as we're doing them.
Okay. I'm going to give you my first one. So number 5.
Is this like least sneaky?
Least sneaky, yeah.
Okay.
So this
sneaky
is like
scale.
Yeah, on the sneaky scale, this is the least sneaky. Out of 5. It's basically the top 5, but the least of the top 5. So the first one I have is jelly and peanut butter. These two
I feel like an ice water right now.
are real sneaky.
Jelly, peanut butter?
Jelly and peanut butter. I kind of paired them together because I
Yeah.
feel like typically it's somewhat of the same problems or issues, or it's just like same aisle in a way. They're so sneaky because you tend to hear like peanut butter as being healthy and not that bad for you and it's okay. But people then just go grab peanut butter and think it's fine without looking at like the label or the back of it. There's so many peanut butters that have a ton of added sugar into it.
Well, when I was on one of the weekends, I went to a store and got peanut butter because I was going to eat it with my whatever, something. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Like you have been basically just grinding up peanuts, and that's how we've been doing peanut butter. So I was like, oh my gosh, like peanut butter from the store is so much better than what we have at home. Like, wow, I forgot how good this is. And it said natural, like it said natural peanut butter.
Yep.
Oil on top and everything.
Yep.
And then I was like, holy shit, this is so good. And I looked at the ingredients and there was so much sugar, like full of molasses. I was like, oh, of course this is good.
Yeah.
This is horrible.
They just put a gallon
this
of
is
sugar
candy in a jar.
Yeah. And I think that's where the sneakiness of it comes in. It's like you got natural creamy peanut butter or whatever. And even the oil thing is just such crap. Like it's such bullshit. They just basically make the peanut butter and then pour canola oil or sunflower oil on top of it. Like it's just for the image to look natural with this layer of oil on the top. And you're like, oh my gosh, like this is like authentic peanut butter. And it's just oil poured on top of it with freaking 14 grams of sugar in it or something. So peanut butter and jelly does kind of the same thing where it's like natural jelly, or even just, I think there's almost like not enough conversation about how jelly is, it's just
preserved.
Well,
even created, I guess.
Like what we talked about on one of the last podcasts of like sugar that is not paired with a healthy or a good amount of fiber is just going to run through your blood, like to your bloodstream. Like it's just going to go, it's like you're injecting sugar into your bloodstream, to where jelly is so much like that, to where it's like there's hardly any fiber, if no fiber. And then it's kind of this like, I don't know, it's just like not seen as a unhealthy food, and people will just eat it by the jar with stuff.
And if you've ever tried to make your own jelly, like the consistency that they get it into in the jar, that doesn't happen just with like breaking down fruit.
No, just like mashing it or anything.
Like you have to add sugar to it to emulsify it, kind of like to whatever, like the consistency that it has, or it has that gooey jelly texture around the fruit, even if there's chunks of fruit in it. Like I'll do a berry mix and boil it down, and I'll put even honey into it. It's like, it's still watery. Like in order for it to clump up, like you need a lot of sugar. That's just how it also breaks down the berries. Yeah. Otherwise the berries will just be like chunks and then a bunch of watery berry juice around it. Like it's not gonna create that consistency.
No. So that's my number 5. And I think what would be cool too is if we can kind of do our best to give alternatives that can somewhat be healthy too. That way it's not just like stay away from these foods and don't eat them ever, but it's like I love peanut butter and I want to have it all the time. So what we started doing is just getting peanuts that literally just says peanuts and salt. That's the only ingredients in there. And we have a little food processor. You just blend those up and it gets creamy, and then boom, you have peanut butter. So that's what we do for that. And jelly, like you've done a bunch of that type of stuff of just taking blueberries and heating them up on a pot or in a pot on the stove and basically just like mushing it down. And yeah, it's like it maybe is a little bit more watery, or you get like the skin that kind of stays there, but it's still spreadable on a piece of bread or cracker or whatever. That
if you needed it,
there's no added sugar, there's no other like you said, preservatives and other crap in it. It's just blueberries that were mashed up basically and then heated kind of.
Yeah. I think I would like for us to try to do that even more, is to give solutions to a lot of this stuff.
Part of what we
want to do with this. Sometimes it's hard because I don't want it to sound like we're telling anybody what to do. Yeah,
but I think it's also frustrating when like
there's like all this crappy stuff that's happening and
when I'm listening to podcasts and it's like it's just doom and gloom and you can't eat anything or do anything because everything's bad for you, and there's no here's what you could do, here's what you can try to do.
Also, what we talked about in a couple episodes ago when we were debating how much sugar a banana has, I looked it up. It's 34 grams, or roughly 34 grams, depending on the size of the banana.
Right.
But that's another thing I'd like to look at for the peanut butter that we do, is even maybe diving into the company that we get it from, because they don't necessarily say that there's oil on it, but is there? Because how does the salt stick to the peanuts?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it is something to look into. Well, and that's why I started doing the ones that were salted, because that is its way of preserving. You know, it's the same with same with butter. Is like everybody will get unsalted butter because they want to stay away from the sodium or whatever. But now you're getting butter that's got a whole bunch of other crap in it to preserve it.
Sure.
Where it's like, I'd much rather just have salt as my preservative than, you know, oils and like a lot of them have just like, I think it'll literally just say on there like natural preservative. It's like LaCroix that say, what's the flavor? Well, it's naturally essence. It's like, what the fuck does that mean? Naturally essence?
What's an essence?
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a fun game. But
that's how it gets its lemon flavor. It's naturally essenced. It's like, that's not a word that works in this environment. Like, I want to know what it is.
Well, and sometimes that's why I'm curious with the peanuts that we get, if they would even say that if you dove into the company a little bit more, because, you know, they can put such trace amounts on it that they don't need to disclose it.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, it's like, how does the salt stick?
Yeah, I don't know.
But
yeah,
it's also, you know, compared to getting a jar of question mark, it's still better, even if there is a little bit of
and you look at
a trace of random soybean oil.
Yeah. And you look at the ingredients on most of the peanut butters, the way that they preserve it is with a bunch of different oils, and it'll say natural preservatives or whatever. And it's like, that's so vague and so general. It's like, do you know what natural preservatives are? No. Nobody freaking does. Or you do, and you learn that it's, not great. It's a bunch of scientific, like, shit that's from the periodic table, it looks like, too, of all those ingredients.
Yeah.
Sodium bicarbonate, blah, blah, blah. It's like all this random bullshit that starts with X's and Z's. It's
yes.
like, I don't know what any of this is. Why don't I just grab the one that says peanuts and sea salt? I know what those two things are. So I'll grab that one, not this fucking laundry list.
That's one thing I need to remember to put in the description of the next episode that we post, or that I post, is a great resource to kind of just like the dummy's guide to figuring out what products that may be more beneficial to you. Download the app EWG. It's like a green icon with a little white E on it. I'll try to remember to put it in the description for all of these. It is the easiest app to use. All you have to do is just scan the barcode on any thing that has a barcode, or any.
It's mostly like cleaning stuff though, right? Or it's like deodorants, shampoos. It doesn't do food.
It does. I think it does do food. If it doesn't do food, another app that you could use is Yucca or Yucca, Yuka. And it's a white icon with a carrot on it. That one for sure does food. So I guess you could alternate between the two, especially just to compare. But the EWG is awesome for regular, like cleaning products, hair products, soaps, makeup.
Yeah.
It'll give you a
Deodorant.
rundown of the
Toothpaste.
like the toxicity of it, what chemicals you need to stay away from that are in it, what ratios of those chemicals do they have. They have more information on the exact breakdown of the chemicals. So if you want to understand even deeper of, well, that one says it's bad, but like why or what is it? But then the Yucca or Yucca app for the food does kind of the same thing. And that one does give you, both of them do like give you alternatives for ones that are on like a better scale.
Yeah. What's your number 5?
And number 5 is like not as bad, right?
Yeah.
Number 5 for me is going to be, okay, I'm going to say this and then I'll explain why it's my number 5 and also what I mean. I put convenience items. So anything that is like pre-flavored, pre-done up and what?
Oh, that's my whole list.
Is it really?
I thought we were being specific.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll scratch that and I'll think of something else.
I mean, you can still do that. You have your own list, so.
I know, but I don't want to like take a very broad spectrum thing and make it
yours will be general, mine will be specific.
Okay. So I said like convenience items, things that are already prepared for you. Now, some of those things, I think a lot, like, okay, what I said to you, like a lot of mine are behavior items versus specifics. Like a specific of that could be healthy, like a protein bar, or something that's like it's chicken but it's already seasoned and already cut up for you and mixed with something else in there, so you can basically just like throw it in something or heat it up and it's done.
Yeah.
I think there can be, and the reason that I took it as number 5 because it could also be a benefit depending on how you use it. If this is the only way that you are going to eat a salad, is if you get it out of the box where it's already cut up and already mixed up for you. That's the only way that you're going to eat chicken, is if you get the one that's already seasoned and has a sauce on it or something. You just have to throw it in the oven. That I do think that outweighs you still going for convenience, and then your other way of convenience is running through a fast food.
Right.
But I think it is also sneaky because it goes back to what we just said about the peanuts. Like, you don't know what's in it. You don't know, even if they say, oh, it's a lemon pepper chicken. Like, well, what does that mean? Right. It could be a seasoning that has a bunch of sugar in it, or a pre-seasoned sauce, like sauce that has a bunch of sugar in it, or like oils that you don't know.
We got Lowry seasoning salt, and the second ingredient on that is sugar. Even though on the label, on the facts, it says there's no sugar in it. Well, the second ingredient of it is sugar. So, like, there's obviously sugar in it, and probably a lot of it.
Yeah.
But it's not enough. Like, a serving size doesn't claim that there's even a gram in it, so it can put 0. But you go through that whole bottle of seasoning salt, it's like, how many grams of sugar did you end up having?
Right.
Because say it's half a gram. Well, they don't have to put that there's a half a gram.
In a serving.
And then there's, 200 servings in it. It's like, so there's 100 grams of sugar just in this Lowry seasoning salt.
And that's like that's one thing with this kind of stuff. Why these things become sneaky is because it's the small dose.
Yeah.
It's
and then
the small dose that it's like poison. You have a little bit every day. It's still going to kill you because you're getting a little bit of poison every day. And
there's real negative to it because it's being marketed as like it's healthy or it's fine, or the nutrition label says 0 sugar and whatever. And you're like, oh, this is great. I can use this all the time. So then you start using Lowry seasoned salt all the time with everything, and you're going through a bottle a week. It's like, well, you're going through 100 grams of sugar or whatever it could be. very consistently and a lot.
Yep.
Because you're going, oh, this is fine. This is good. So I'll just use a whole bunch of it.
Yeah.
It's like, that's where sneaky.
Yep. Yeah, I really don't have anything else to say about that. I think just it's the.
Could you give more examples?
See, that's why this is hard, because I don't want to just like give away your list. I don't know what your list is, but not these like, what's my whole list? Like, am I just gonna
That's
list
funny.
your whole
Okay.
thing?
Well, I'll go to number 4 because that is one of them for me.
Okay.
Is oatmeal.
That is not something that I would. Okay, toss it back to me. I'm going back to the convenience things, because that is
well,
still.
I have more though.
Oh, okay.
Well, you don't even know what I'm going to say about oatmeal though, do you?
No, but I guess I'll say this one last thing.
Yeah.
Again, going back to, if this is going to help you eat these things at a general base level, then I think it can be fine. But there are a lot of these things that you're practicing the behavior of not being connected to your food and not being connected to where it came from. So again, it's like what we talked about a couple episodes of, oh, I'm going to get the cut up fruit. It's like, well, does that fruit naturally brown? Mm-hmm. So then you're going, great, I'm getting a bunch of fruit, but it's also covered in a preservative, or it's covered in sugar, and that's why it's able to not brown. No, they don't have to.
Yeah.
And then same thing if you're getting cut up veggies. Well, it might just give you the cheaper version of what that vegetable is. Like, it's giving you the stuff that just tastes good on the vegetable, but you're not getting the full, like a broccoli. You get cut up broccoli, they're not giving you the stems. They're just giving you the little tree part on top, but then there's so much nutrients that you're missing by not eating the stem.
How many model train sets have you made using that as your tree?
What would you call
it? Broccoli crown?
Yeah, okay.
What it's labeled at the grocery store?
Yeah. You know, so
the flowerette, isn't that what it's called too?
It might be. No, I think the flowerettes are like something. I don't know. I could probably
the trees. Everybody knows what you're talking about. So.
So I think it's just the behavior of how quick can I make my meals, and then you start to supplement with these things that you're not fully aware of. How are they prepared? How are they packaged to you?
Are they preserved?
How are you throwing these things together? It's like, well, all these ingredients maybe separately would be fine, but you're throwing, this iceberg lettuce, because it was the one that you could get out of the bag that was already shredded, in a bowl with shredded cheese, because that was easier than getting a block and shredding it yourself, which is half plastic. Throw that on top of there. You're getting a bunch of cut up fruits. Well, okay, that's covered in sugar. So it's like you accumulate all of these things into one meal. All of them separately, fine. But now you're just little dose, little dose, little dose, little dose. And now it's a larger issue. And now you're doing that with every meal.
Yep.
Now, do I think that is still better than you going to the most convenient of a fast food or eating out? Yes.
Yeah.
So
there's a scale.
I'm just saying this is also, we're talking about sneaky. We're talking about when you're questioning, why can't I lose weight? Why can't I get in shape? Why can't I get, my skin to clear up? Why can't I have my digestion work? These are the things that I think people are getting duped by.
Yeah, because they're sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, oatmeal is my number 4, and it's just mostly those that you're talking about, like the prepackaged or the like ready to eat kind of things that you just tear open a bag, pour in a bowl of water, heat it up in the microwave, and you're not, you hear that oatmeal's good for you. It's fine. Like you can, but like it's generally good for you. That's fine to eat. And then you go to the grocery store and you're like, oh, oatmeal with apples and cinnamon or brown sugar or whatever. It's like everybody knows which ones I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But you grab those and you heat those up and you do them, and you're not even looking at the package because it's labeled to you, or it's told you that oatmeal is healthy for you. So then you just grab the convenient one rather than taking the time to do them in a healthier way. So then that's your breakfast for, how long, and you don't even realize, like, you're getting 10, 15 grams of sugar right away in the morning with oatmeal.
I think those packets are even more.
With all the carbohydrates from the oatmeal. And it's like not like what apples are like that. Like that's some weird, probably manufactured, not real apples. It's like the alcoholic drinks. That's not real liquor. It's the whatever weird liquor, you know? It's the same thing. It's like, these aren't really apples probably. It's just whatever's cheapest and that they can have apple flavor. I mean, how much of it is that too? Just like apple flavoring, cinnamon flavoring. It's not even the real ingredients. To where you can make that same exact apple cinnamon oatmeal at home by cutting up an apple, putting some cinnamon, and heating up just regular old-fashioned oats or steel cut oats. And that's going to be way better than this pre-packaged mystery 400 ingredients on the ingredients list. So I think for the alternative for that, that's what I would do. Old-fashioned oats with, you know, maybe steel cut oats, maybe overnight oats, something that's just simply that, you know, whole wheat, whole grain, rolled oats, and then add your own fruit and seasoning or whatever to it. And then obviously don't do brown sugar. I mean, that's
Right.
that's obviously the dessert one of them, but like,
unless you want it, you just want it cheaper, then that's definitely
yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. It's going to be way cheaper to do, but
that's a great one.
Cut up real apples or get berries, get blueberries and throw them in there. Get real strawberries. Don't do the ones that are prepackaged because, like you said, you don't know what all is in them. And even if you look at the ingredients list, it's not going to be just regular oats with apples and cinnamon. It's going to be this whole just mirage of different things that you probably don't even know what they are.
Well, and that's a great one because it also opens up the conversation of, yes, that food at baseline can be fine, but who is eating just regular microwaved with water oats? Like, that's gross. Or most people probably think that's gross. It's like, you're now taking something that could be potentially fine. It is also still, like, I'm looking up this, like, it's still 33 grams. Well, I guess this is the prepackaged one. 33 grams of carbs, 12 grams of sugar. I'm sure the sugar.
That's a lot of sugar for that little packet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would do 2 of those packets.
Yeah.
Just to like
24, 25 grams of sugar.
That regular oatmeal, even that. And that's in a 1 packet, which is 43 grams. So if you think of maybe you're doing a half a cup of oats and then you're just heating that up. Like, you're still probably within the 20 plus range of carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So even that maybe could be questionable of, do you want to be doing that every day? But
well, for some people, like, that works for them and that's fine.
Totally.
You know?
But then are you just eating it as that?
Right.
Or are you adding honey to it? Are you adding 34 grams of carbs, banana in it, and like the way that you build it to make it taste manageable? Like, the baseline can be fine. It's how we eat it and how we consume it is where then it starts to like, well, now we're off the rails.
Yeah.
I would definitely suggest the steel cut oats. Those are so easy to make in bulk. I know that because they're a harder consistency that they don't get soggy. So like I would do it.
They hold better over a couple days.
Yeah, before school, I would meal prep them for the 5 days of school. I would do it in an Instapot. With like a little Instapot, and I would just do 5 days worth, and I would put craisins, but I put craisins or apples in there, and it would be fine all week.
Yeah,
a little bit of cinnamon.
Yeah, I think if it works for you,
they're higher in protein too.
Oatmeal is totally fine if it works for you in your system and you like it.
Yeah,
and it doesn't give you weird digestion or whatever. There's so much variance with carbohydrates and whether they work for you well or they don't, and so it's just it's up to you, but go that route rather than the prepackaged, who knows what's in it.
protein powder does not mix well in oats. That's one thing that I will disclaimer, because I tried and it was chucky.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay, so my second
Number 4.
tool, it's my fourth.
Counting down.
For my 4, I'm going to do flavored waters or diet drinks. So that could be the LaCroix, that could be the Mio squirts in the water, that could be obviously like diet soda, or the new ones that are out of like the Olipop ones, or the Stevias. Zevias?
Yeah, whichever. I think it's stevia.
No, stevia is the sugar.
I think it's the same brand.
But it's not an S.
Oh no,
it's
it's Zevia.
Zevia, yeah. Which they're so good. I put that because it really touches on the behavior thing for me. Again, going back to if you're coming off of drinking soda every day, these are a great alternative because it's still going to give you that same sugary taste that's not soda. So I think it's a good gateway to the
to wanting
to the
more.
Well, I would say it's a gateway to both. I think it's a good gateway to getting off of those and weaning yourself off, with not just cutting cold turkey and just like having
Coca-Cola to like a
going to like just drink water every single day and nothing
That's
else.
hard.
That's you're gonna.
But stepping stone, you go to like a Zevia or whatever. That's gonna be better.
Yes. The reason why I put it on the sneaky list is having the understanding of what that does to our taste buds and the chemicals that responds in our brain once we taste, even if we think it's sugar, even though our body is calculating it as it's not, our brain tastes it as it is. That typically what happens with most people is then you start to crave those things further. That's why that's why most of the food, why it's hard for us to cut back, is they're designed to do that. They're designed for us to want more and to eat more and purchase more. That those are kind of the same signal to your brain. So then you might want more of the carbs. You might want more of the sugar, especially because oh, well, there's no sugar in this, so maybe I'll still have 2 today, or maybe I'll do another water bottle with the squirt of Mio in it. That I think it's better for maybe what you're putting in your body, but the behaviors, you might just be kind of fighting yourself a lot of the time.
Yeah, it might make things, still difficult to get away from those cravings and those urges and stuff like that. I think that's a big thing just with the carbohydrates is just in general, going back to the oatmeal thing, is like typically eating carbohydrates just makes you want more of them in some weird way. I think it's, that the carbohydrates getting processed down into like a form of sugar or a form of glucose, and then you're processing it in that way, that there's some sort of signal that's making you want more of that. That's why a lot of people are just like, I'm done with carbohydrates, because it just makes you want to eat more. It's like why you can eat just a giant bowl of pasta, but you sit down and try to have like a 20-ounce steak. It's like the pasta might be more calories. It most certainly is more calories, but you can eat the whole thing, to where like a big steak is going to be hard to finish. And it's just the difference in satiation and how everything's broken down, that these drinks and these naturally essenced bullshit, like it's just going to kind of trick you into wanting more. And then you're having to battle that in your head more and more and more and more, because you're drinking, 4 Zevias a day because they're healthy for you. They're better. It's even like these electrolyte mixes now. Like there's a lot of them that have a ton of sugar in it.
Oh yeah. I mean, those liquid AVs.
Yeah.
There's like 12 grams of sugar in it.
Yeah. That it's like,
maybe there's 6, but
no, I think you're right. I think it's 12.
Is it?
That's like, now you just want more of those. So now people are having 6 of those a day or something. Or you have that and then you're wondering like, gosh, why do I want like, you know, donuts, ice cream, like Oreos, whatever, sugary cereal, and it's 6 p.m. It's like, well, because you've put this in your body and now it's just like, ooh, give me more of that. That felt good. That tasted good. Let's do that again. And now you got to fight that battle later on. To where like what you've done with the electrolyte thing, you've just gotten potassium, magnesium, and sodium, mix it in water and drink it. You don't want more of that later on in the day.
No.
Or you don't all of a sudden want, you know, something sugary and something sweet. That doesn't elicit that response. And it's doing the same thing as like any of these electrolyte mixes.
Right. Well, and I don't know. That is one of those, why it's sneaky is you think you're doing a good job, but then these things start to stack up. It's like what I said in the last episode of, great, I'm not having, you know, a sugary drink. I'm not going to have the pasta or the burger. I'm going to get a poke bowl. But then I'm like, what's in the seaweed? Why does that taste good? What's this sauce that's drizzled over everything that makes it taste better? Like, if I don't clock those, now I'm going to go, great. My drink was fine. My dinner was fine. I can have a couple pieces of chocolate the next day.
Yeah,
like,
or that night.
You just had sugar in your meal, but it was the sneaky and you can't see it. So I looked up the 0-calorie liquid IV because I know that's a popular brand that people like. It does say 0 sugar. There is stevia in the ingredients list. So I don't know if it's just because it's not actual sugar, but it's just a sweetener.
Artificial sweetener.
So,
which is not, it's not the same thing, obviously, but
it's better.
Eliciting that same response, though.
Right.
You have something sweet and something that tastes really, I don't know, sugary in a way, but it's not. It's still going to elicit that same response that I want more of it.
Yeah.
And maybe they've changed their formula too, because when we were looking at it, when they had them at the apartment gym, we were looking at the ingredients and we were like, holy crap, 12 grams of sugar. So that's something that they could have just changed.
I think they have multiple different options. Like, I think they had the regular and then they're just launching this new sugar-free. Gotcha. One that I don't think has sugar in it also is the Element. I don't think they have sugar in there.
Gotcha.
So again, if you want the convenience of that, that is a brand that I guess I would go to.
It's just still watch out. You know, anything that's artificially flavored, anything that's artificially flavored or sweetened, it's like you get used to that palate of taste. It's like you just want things to be like that all the time then.
Yeah.
So now when you go to eat an apple or a banana or something that's fruity, it's like this tastes bland and crappy and whatever.
That is what was crazy, how quickly my taste buds just got affected a little bit. Is the last time that we were pretty much just eating meat, and then we went back to bringing fruit back into the picture, and I ate an apple, and it could have just been the kind that we got, but it was too sweet. Like it made me feel like I was eating candy and I couldn't finish it because it was just like, this is so sugary. I like got gut rot. And I was like, this is just an apple. Like, this is one of the blandest fruits that there is, but it's still like and that's the same thing that my dad says too, with him not doing really carbs at all, that you kind of stop craving it.
Yeah, totally.
Like you kind of don't really notice that you don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it's just your body.
It's few and far between when you do feel like something like that. And then if you're able to just kind of be like, nah, whatever. It's like, again, it doesn't even come around for a few weeks or months.
Kind of the out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
So you're kind of giving your body the reminder that this exists.
Yeah. And you're having it every day.
Yeah.
A sugary Mio thing or whatever, just like the sweet, tasty thing all the time.
And especially with drinks, that's like my weird thing right now. Like, even if it is low sugar or it's a diet drink, that you're still
streamlining it.
It's such a quick into your system. I don't even want to say breakdown because you're not breaking it down. That I would also be, those are such easy things to consume.
Yeah, and
because
quickly.
you don't have to stop to eat it. Like you can have it when you're driving around, when you have it when you're at work, and it's just
Yeah. My number 3, granola bars. My
your favorite.
favorites. I love granola bars, but they're so sneakily bad for you because I think, again, it's kind of like the oatmeal thing. They're almost marketed as healthy and that this is good for you and whatever. But then you start to really look at it and you're like, okay, how is this thing that's covered in chocolate good for me? And also, like, I've put a bunch of granola together. It doesn't just stay in this perfect square rectangle
Right.
form. Like, what weird shit are they using to have everything stick together and stay together? That one's kind of, I feel like, not that sneaky. People kind of know, like, yeah, this is whatever. But
I don't know.
I think still, like, we almost ignore the fact that, like, this thing's covered in chocolate. It's not good for you.
And the reason why I say I don't know is because there are so many brands that are promoted as health companies.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You know, like you think of the Kind bars or the Cliff bars or the...
And it's like, how is this all sticking together? That's always my first question. That's just weird. And then you start to break it down of the, okay, almonds, that's good. But then it's like how does it taste so good still?
Right.
And it's like, this is just nuts and granola. Like, there's no way. I
Those
know
don't
what
stick
nuts
together.
and granola taste like.
Yeah.
It's not this.
And they're not shining.
Yeah. They're not glimmering in the light. Yeah, that's a quick one for me. That one I feel like is kind of self-explanatory and simple.
Well, and those ones are also, they're easy to pop. Like they're easy.
Quick.
They're easy to travel with.
Yep.
They're
Convenient.
Small, so you think you're not eating a lot.
Yep.
So you could eat multiple
I just
in a
had
day.
a granola bar this morning. And
Yes.
Yeah.
That you're also, again, you're eating something, and that's what I was saying. There's a couple brands that I do like. So if granola bars are your
better ones
thing,
and worse ones.
Yeah.
Like if you chose a Kind bar over,
Well, I'm even saying like
the ones that are covered in the Quaker chewy covered in chocolate, whatever. Like, yeah, it's pretty obvious which one's gonna be better for you.
But I think even out of the healthy ones, like the No BS ones and the Lara bars.
Oh, what about
those ones?
What about the RX bar? Isn't that one tout is like only like 6 ingredients or something?
Isn't that the No BS? Isn't that the same thing?
Maybe. I thought it was.
Maybe they're different, but those 2 or 3 companies I like because it does list the ingredients, and if you understand those ingredients and how they break down, it's not the pretty ones. You take it out of the packaging and it looks gross.
Yeah, and they don't taste that great.
No, like the Lara bars we've made at home.
Yeah.
The dates are what is keeping it together because it's just like that mushy consistency, and you have to like mash them together.
For how we do it. Again, you never know what.
That's true.
What they're using that they don't have to label because they don't use a lot of it.
Yeah.
To keep it together.
Yeah, true. It is the same. The RX bars
okay.
and the No BS. That would be my suggestion as well for those is like make them at
make them at home.
Make them at home.
Yeah.
You can understand what the ingredients are, what ratios you want to put in there.
Like you said, we made Lara bars and
there's it's so much cheaper.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you want to talk about cutting costs, like all of this. If you make it at home, it's so much cheaper.
Lara bars are like $4 a pop.
Yeah. And they tasted basically the same, if not exactly the same.
It gives you the ingredients that they use.
Yeah. So now you just put it in a food processor or something and then put it in the oven for 10 seconds. Yeah, if you can make it at home, obviously do that. But again, like, do you really want to be making a chocolate-covered granola bar at home? And it's like, okay, make it at home. What am I going to make a Kind bar that's granola, almonds, and like maybe a craisin or something? It's like, just freaking grab a handful, like make a trail mix and grab a handful of it. There, you're eating a Kind bar. Like,
it doesn't have to stick together.
No.
Put it in a bag.
Yeah.
I like the Lara bars.
I haven't had one in a long time, but I do really like them. I like all granola bars. Granola bars they're like a guilty pleasure for me for sure. If I want to like ignore health and feel like it's okay, it's a granola bar. Like, this isn't as bad as it could be.
Yeah.
This isn't grabbing a Reese's peanut butter cup. Even though it's like, yeah, your chocolate covered granola. It's like, it's probably not that far off.
Sorry.
We can move on to your number 3 though.
Okay. Yeah, the granola bar thing is so random. I could never eat a granola bar again in my life, and I would not think twice about it.
I would be sad the rest of my life.
It's just like, who cares? Okay. My next one is going to be, I just said creamer, but what I'm meaning with it is like stuff that you would put, again, going back to the drinks, stuff that you would put in your morning coffee or your tea. If you just do, I guess let me just start with the alternative. A great alternative would just be
whole milk,
heavy cream, and like looking at maybe getting a better heavy cream, and not doing any of the sugary ones. But even some of the nut milks and the oat milks, there's a bunch of weird oils in there.
Yeah.
So
and added sugar a lot of the time.
You want to talk about like inflammation and like just wrecking
gut
your
problems.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, why am I getting stomachache after breakfast every day? It's like,
right.
Well, maybe it's all the weird oils that you just poured into your coffee. And
so unfortunately, if you are lactose intolerant, I really don't think the good alternatives are these oat and nut milks.
Yeah.
I don't know if people just haven't cracked the code on how to make them yet, or if you can make them at home, maybe do that if you're willing to do that.
I'm also really curious with the lactose intolerant thing is like, if you were able to try raw milk.
Sure. Yeah.
Like what would that change? And would it change something, just the healthy bacteria in it? Is that going to agree with your gut? And then it's like, are we lactose intolerant, or is it our milk is just completely like all the bacteria is killed,
right?
And
so it's just
same
like
with the
sugar
yogurt,
water,
and it's like it. Yeah, exactly. You're drinking in just like fat and sugar with no healthy bacteria to help probably balance what's going on in the gut. It's like, yeah, just down a pixie stick and then eat a stick of butter. Like, you gonna feel good? No. And even the butter's, killed off of all that healthy bacteria. So
yeah,
I don't know where you're gonna get good healthy fat anymore besides meat.
Do you know how they get milk to be white?
Oh, I think it's because of the killing the bacteria.
Okay.
I think that's why it goes to. That's my. I don't know. I don't want to say educated guess because it's not that educated, but that's the only thing that seems to add up and make sense as to why it's like a pure white.
Okay.
Because when you go get raw milk, like it almost has like a.
It almost kind of looks like a eggnog.
Yeah, but not so extreme.
I guess I've never seen eggnog.
Eggnog's like real. It's got a lot of yellow.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like an off-white.
Yeah.
Off-white.
Eggshell white type of thing.
Yeah.
But you get, regular milk nowadays that's in the stores. It's like white.
Yeah.
It's as white as it gets.
Maybe probably just like appearance too, like what people are willing to.
Well, yeah, look at now. Like when we got raw milk, like, oh, it looks weird. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, that's
how
real.
It's supposed to look. Yeah.
To where we're so conditioned for it to be, it's got to be pure white. Otherwise something's wrong with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, creamers.
It's another thing that it's a drink. So I'm already against.
Yeah.
The second reason I wrote it down was it's a daily occurrence. Again, going back to the small dose.
Yeah, every day you're putting.
Every day if you're someone that drinks coffee, you're probably someone that drinks coffee every day, if not multiple times a day.
Yeah, a couple cups.
And how many people are just doing coffee with straight cream in it? It's like you're probably also, what is this cream? What is this creamer? Like what? and then you're probably adding some sort of sweetener into it, or you're getting the ones that are pre-flavored. They're French vanilla, they're hazelnut, they're whatever.
Yep.
Ice cream flavored. Like I've seen something like Cold Stone, just sweet cream. I'm just like, you're pouring ice cream into your coffee every morning.
They just melted ice cream in the bag that didn't sell and put it in a bottle.
Like a sprinkle falls out.
Yeah.
It's the quick release into your system. It's the daily occurrence that I don't like.
Well, I think you don't process it too, because you're doing something that's, fairly healthy. Like there's a lot of antioxidants and stuff that's good with coffee, but then, so you're like, oh, I have my morning coffee, and that's kind of known to be pretty good for me, or it's fine. And you don't even calculate that. Oh yeah, but I put like a splash of creamer in every day. You almost go like, well, I'm having something healthy, and it's like this little bit of whatever doesn't even count. Mm-hmm. And it definitely does, like you're saying.
Small dose.
You do it every day, a couple times a day. But I think it's that weird like association with health. It's like the oatmeal thing. Oh, oatmeal's healthy. That's what everybody says. But now there's this weird association with, oh, I'm eating something healthy, but you're not even considering all the junk that's put with it.
Do you think people see coffee as healthy?
I don't know. I don't really see it as that. I don't really see it as a health thing, even though there's a ton of like, I don't know, like good research about good, obviously good coffee, not like, whatever crap, like you were talking about too, like caramel flavored coffee, blah, blah, blah. Like, real roasted beans that are good. There's a lot of research around it being something that's healthy for you. Antibacterial, antioxidant, like it's got a lot of good compounds to it, but, I don't know if people generally think it's a healthy thing. I think they just think of the caffeine connection. It gives me my boost in the morning.
Yeah.
But then they don't like the taste typically, so then they add the creamer. So they almost go like, I'm getting my caffeine boost, and I'll just add this little bit of creamer to it to be able to enjoy it.
So my healthier alternatives would be whole milk or a heavy whipping cream or a half and half, but again, like looking at maybe the brands or the ingredients. But obviously, even if you don't do that compared to the one that says creamer on it or the one that is flavored, obviously that's just an easier switch, even if you don't want to look all into it.
Yeah.
If you like the flavored or you like the sweet, something that I like to do every once in a while is putting like my scoop of protein in it. Vanilla, I think, tends to taste better, but chocolate has also worked fine, or whatever weird flavor you get, the peanut butter, chocolate, whatever. That gives the sweet and the creaminess because of the whey, and like it has the like the whey. What is like, it's like a, what is whey from?
Dairy.
It's like so it has like the dairy flavoring of the creaminess. It thickens it up, and then you get the flavoring from whatever protein flavor that you get. That would be my like suggestion, I think, over anything, is especially because I know most people that do it, they don't just do the creamer. They do have a sweetener of sort in it. Mm-hmm. That would be my go-to switch, because it still tastes really freaking good. You're getting the same, hit of whatever you want of your sweet thing in the morning with your coffee. You're still getting your caffeine, and then you're getting just an extra boost of protein right away in the morning. Like for people that maybe don't like protein shakes like I don't, you're still going to be able to have that, and you can count on that being your daily thing. I think that's a great substitute. Also, no, yeah, that's going to be my only substitute.
Yeah, cool. My number 2, yogurt. I'm kind of out on this whole dairy thing. I don't think yogurt, again, generally thought of as healthy. but I really think there's something to there not being the healthy bacteria in it anymore to assist in pretty much everything that's good for you, that now it is just a sugary fat dump down the gullet. And now to add to it, most people are getting stuff that's flavored. You're not getting the plain yogurt. You're getting the, whatever it is, strawberry or blueberry.
Vanilla or berry mix.
Yeah. You're getting something that's flavored, and it's going to be artificial flavoring. Which is just also, again, not good for you. A ton of sugar in it, added sugar because of that flavoring typically.
Easy to digest.
It's like, it's just like, I used to think yogurt was fine, and I used to think yogurt that wasn't flavored is fine, but it's just the more that I do dairy, and I don't know, like the common sense and the connecting the dots and stuff like that, it seems like it's so useless now, and it's probably not healthy for you because it just doesn't have the stuff that it's supposed to have in it anymore. And it's just so crazy, ridiculously processed now. I mean, it's like how they're getting it to be yogurt form, getting all the bacteria out, how they're flavoring it, whether it's a natural flavoring that like is also just not great, or it's artificially flavored that is obviously not great. And then when you start to play with all the macros of it too, it's like that's when you can tell the thing's just processed out of its mind. Is you take something that's like, it's kind of a whole natural food, but now you're completely changing components of it. Like yogurt is a high fat, like animal product basically. And now they're coming out with low fat yogurt. It's like, how is
zero or no fat?
How is this even possible? Towards like, this isn't even yogurt anymore. How can you label it as yogurt? And it's the same with, I don't think it's like, it's kind of the same with milk, with like lactate or whatever. I think that's super low in fat. And dairy is also known to be a little bit higher in sugar. That it's the same thing. Like now you can have basically zero sugar yogurt, zero fat yogurt. It's like, this isn't even yogurt.
Like, what is this then?
It's not even the thing anymore. It's like if you were to take a piece of meat and go like, yeah, but it's no protein, no fat. It's like, what the hell is it then?
Yeah.
It's not meat. That's for sure. So and that's why it's number 2 for me now. So it's like, I think it's just,
it's question mark city.
It's just got, it's too many questions. Like it needs to go to court. It's got way too many questions about it.
What's that?
And then it's still generally thought of as healthy. Oh, I'm going to go get my yogurt. So not even like first step is, yogurt's healthy. Let's go get it. And then you're going and grabbing the strawberry flavored one. And then you start to learn maybe a little bit more of like, maybe I shouldn't have like all this added sugar and stuff. So I'm going to get something that's, got lower sugar. So then you get the lower sugar yogurt, and now you're doing that, and you're like, oh, but then you learn more about like yogurt's supposed to have like healthy bacteria in it because it's a dairy product, and they're killing and taking everything out of that. So now really, what is this? This is just like a high fat sludge.
Yeah.
That kind of tastes okay. I don't think that's worth it. So it's like, maybe I do no flavor, but then the sugar goes up because it's not ultra processed, but now you just have this fatty, sugary sludge that has no good bacteria. It's like, why am I even eating this?
Well, and then you go, okay, well, now I'm getting no flavor, but it's gross. So I'm going to add a bunch of fruit in it. I'm going to add
to mask the flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can start to get like, well, it's still decent in protein. It's like, so you're only eating it for the 6 grams of protein? Like, it's just not worth it at this point.
Well, and to get 6 grams, that's so much yogurt.
Yeah, it's a ton of yogurt. Just to get 6 grams.
Yeah.
So then you have a whole bunch of sugar, a whole bunch of fat, just for 6 grams of protein. And like, the thing's dead. It's like dead, not good dairy.
What are your thoughts on yogurt that's made from like non-pasteurized milk?
I think if you can find it, yeah, I would totally be down for it. I would drink milk again, and I would eat yogurt again if it's not pasteurized.
I saw a video of a lady making like she had extra milk left.
Yeah.
And she made yogurt out of it, and it looked the same.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
maybe a little bit of that, like, off-white color.
it was, yeah, it was a little bit, yeah. It almost, it looked thick. Like, it looked thicker.
Yeah, less watery and whatever. Yeah, I would introduce it back, but again, it's like it's so hard to find raw milk, raw yogurt, real butter too, like not jacked up butter. So yeah, that's why it's number 2 for me. Is it's too ultra processed now, and you don't even get what's good out of it anymore.
Yeah. Ooh,
honestly, you could put milk with that too. For me. Okay. So it's like why are we even drinking it? It's got none of the good shit in it anymore.
Well, that's so funny with the milk debate, I guess. Like, maybe that's not a mainstream debate, but you hear it a lot in the fitness space.
It's gonna be.
Like, can our bodies digest it? Yes, they can. No, they can't. It's like, we're not even talking about the same thing.
Yeah, and we're not even talking about the real problem.
Our bodies can digest unpasteurized milk. Yes. Our stomach doesn't do well breaking down the milk that we get at the store.
Yeah. So
it's like our body's like, what the hell is that? Now, maybe over time, like where we are at as a society now, can it? Because our bodies are adjusting to these weird
look at how many people are lactose intolerant.
Well, yeah,
more than ever.
Yeah,
it's like because you're not getting milk from the source anymore. It's getting burned alive.
So what's your healthy alternative? Just nothing?
Nothing. Go find a farmer. Like you asked, and that if I could find real non-pasteurized yogurt and milk, I would do that. Otherwise, alternatives, it's just replace it with whole natural foods. Something.
Sure. Just eat the fruit that you put in it, or
fruits, vegetables. Like if you need it, typically the yogurt thing. Well, I guess maybe not typically. Maybe it is a meal, breakfast for some people. But yeah, find something else. I mean, if you're wanting something that, like with yogurt, it's high fat, high protein type of thing. You could go to eggs. You could go to nuts. It's like I don't think if you replaced it with nuts, I'd have to look at the specifics of it, but it's probably going to be pretty similar. And you're not going to have to eat a gallon of nuts to get 6 grams of protein.
Well, that's going to be hard, though, is you're going to have to eat a lot of them. Like, that will be hard. Again, it's like you have to eat it versus slurping it. Like, I want to say, like... slurping it. Like, I'm thinking of yogurt. Like, I want to say, and I could be wrong, but I want to say for 18 almonds... it's either like 4 or 6 grams of protein.
Which to me, that's a good alternative.
Try eating 18 almonds. It's pretty freaking hard.
I probably do every day.
Really?
Yeah.
I just don't like almonds, so it's hard for me.
Yeah. Well, again, like it's harder to chew and eat, and your mouth gets dry or whatever if you're just eating them plain. But still, like as far as like quantity of food or whatever, that would probably be a good solution to have high fat and high protein still. And if you're looking for the 6 grams of protein out of the yogurt, going to almonds isn't going to be that big of a change. Yeah. Or it's like add another egg. Sure. That's 6 grams of protein right there.
Yeah. My second is sauces or dips. I think those are kind of the same thing. It just depends on how you use it, I suppose. But yeah. I didn't.
Well, actually, we can talk about this together. That's my number 1. Dressing and sauces.
Interesting. I still have another number 1. This is my number 2.
Yeah.
Sauces, and I don't mean sauces in like a pasta sauce or that. That's just like a whole other category. I don't think that's sneaky. I think it's like if you're eating a bowl of pasta and you think that's sneaky, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But even the sauces, I mean, like, I think sometimes people are like, well, it's tomatoes. Like, well, it's not. It's sugar.
Yeah.
With a little bit of tomato. So even that, like the pasta sauces and stuff, anything that you're going to get at the store and not make yourself, it's probably not going to be great. It's going to be the same issue you're finding with pretty much everything we're listing here. Is it's like ingredients are through the roof and there's sugar.
So is that what
to
you meant by the sauces?
No, I meant like barbecue sauce.
Dipping.
And
The dips.
Yeah. I don't ever dip anything, so.
I don't either, but
It
I
wouldn't
was
be
just
dipping to
thinking
me.
of like I do make sauces a lot to like drizzle over things, but I'm thinking
Drizzle sauces.
I'm thinking mostly like how they eat.
In our
It's
house, they're called
probably
drizzle
dips.
sauces, not dip sauces.
But I think most people probably dip.
Probably.
So
But in
I'm
this
just
house, it's drizzle.
I drizzle.
We're drizzle sauces.
Yeah. Yeah. I this is my new passion. It's sauces.
Cut the cameras. This podcast is.
The reason why I say this,
Just ended.
and this is why I'm going to give the alternative. Actually, no. Let's save the alternative.
You should start a vlog series of sauces.
I already have like a decent list. If anybody wants it, I'll send it to you. The reason I have this as a higher thing is, again, it's the small dose poison. You don't have a lot of it. You're probably not drowning your meals in these sauces, but the reason that they are adding to your meal, like typically they're very high in sugar, they're high in questionable seasoning mixtures, or like molasses is in a lot of sauces that you'll get on the shelf. And again, it's that easy, you don't have to digest it. It
Flavor
just
burst.
goes in, and yeah, and it also is typically connected to already unhealthy foods. So like you're just adding more unhealthy to the unhealthy. Or you're making something healthy with every little bite, adding something bad.
And that's where I was going to say, I think why it was number one for me is the sneakiness of it. Is I think they're added to things that it's already healthy, but now you're adding this to it, and it's not negating, but now you're just adding something bad in order to do it. It's like salads. I mean, how many
Yes.
people just buy the French dressing, ranch dressing, Italian dressing at the store, and they don't even think twice about it, because that's just what goes with salad is dressing. So they're maybe making their salad at home or getting the premix or whatever, and then they're putting a bunch of this dressing on it, thinking, I'm eating a salad, this is healthy, to where your dressing is screwing it all up because of all the crap and sugar and just junk that's in it. That's why it was number one for me. And same with sauces too. I mean, it's like, who just has a plain chicken breast with maybe a little bit of salt and pepper? It's like, no, you're getting barbecue sauce or ketchup or maybe even ranch or something with it. Honey mustard, like all of these different things, just to eat the chicken, to where it's like, okay, you had a chicken breast and that's good, but now you just doused it in a bunch of barbecue sauce. Well, now we just added a whole bunch of sugar to your meal. And even if you get 0 to no sugar barbecue sauce, it's like, what's all the other crap in it? Like, sauces aren't just like,
Yeah.
I think we just think of them as like, oh, whatever, never mind. And they go with all these healthy meals. And then people are like, why can't I be healthier? It's like, well, because you're adding sriracha to your eggs in the morning. You're adding French dressing with your salad every afternoon. And then for dinner, you're having barbecue sauce with every meal. It's like you're having sauces all the time.
Or you're someone that eats salads all the time. You're like, I eat so healthy. I eat salads.
Yeah.
Then you drizzle ranch on it.
Yeah. And it's like
every time.
You don't even realize how much sugar or how much fat you're taking in.
Yep.
Yeah.
I looked up ranch. I don't like ranch, but it's not that I don't like it. That's just not that's never been my go-to. But
I like it with certain things.
I feel like that's something that people will use a lot for those healthier things, like dipping it for vegetables.
Oh, yeah,
and then
like
salads,
carrots
or a lot of people like getting it for, like when we're at restaurants, I see a lot of people ordering ranch.
Well, and there you go. There's another one that's, I don't think it's high up because it's not as used, but dips. I mean, dips are just
Yeah.
like French onion dip or whatever, or dill dip or something. It's like, so you're just eating cream cheese and mayo by the jar, like
On a chip.
On a chip. That's like, also this is preserved to
Oh,
non-belief.
yeah.
Like, what other random crap is in here?
The ranch is not crazy in sugar. It's
High in fat though, right?
13 grams of fat,
For
260
what's
milligrams of sodium.
what's a serving,
two
though?
tablespoons.
What?
2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons?
2 tablespoons is 130 calories.
Ranch is made in a stable?
It's
2 tablespoons or teaspoons?
table.
2 tablespoons. That's not a lot. There's no way people put just 2 tablespoons of ranch.
I
dressing.
bet like if you get at a restaurant, those little black containers that you get sauces in,
That's
I bet
3.
that's, oh, I would say it's even more than that.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe you're right. I guess. I don't know.
3, 4.
The only reason I think it's more is because when I was measuring out
When you start to measure stuff, you realize how
much, holy shit.
Like, that's why I'm like, there's no way people just put 2 tablespoons of dressing, because I'll do a tablespoon for like this seed mix, and it's like a tablespoon is tiny.
Yeah. And then especially like you think of liquids.
Oh,
like,
it just pours out, glugs out.
260 milligrams of sugar or sodium. Whoa. And then 1 gram of sugar, which doesn't seem like a lot, but then when you go to the ingredients, this is why I think you really have to look at both things.
You can't just look at the macros and the numbers and that sort of thing.
Well, because also like they can lie on both of these sides. Like they don't have to be accurate with their numbers, and they also don't have to be accurate with their ingredients if it's not a certain portion. But
it's just, yeah.
Vegetable oil, so you have soybean and or canola oil, buttermilk, sugar. So sugar is the 4th ingredient. I didn't add water, but
only 1 sugar.
Right. So I was like, how?
Well, and does it say how many servings are in that bottle?
24.
Okay, so that bottle's like 24 grams of sugar.
Which hopefully you're not eating a whole bottle at a time, but so the oils.
No, but what if you go through it in a week?
Well, yeah.
And then what if you go through barbecue sauce in a week? What if you go through, we were talking about oatmeal that's got however much sugar in your packets. It's like these little things. Oh, what was that? We just heard Dr. Sean Baker on Rogan say the average 8-year-old goes through as much sugar. Like once they turn 8, they've gone through as much sugar as what was the time frame? The 40s or something?
No, it would either be like our grandparents or
I think
their grandparents. So maybe like our great grandparents.
I think our great grandparents. Yeah, our great grandparents would go a whole lifetime, and the sugar that they would consume is what an average 8-year-old has consumed now. It's like an 8-year-old, and he's just saying average too.
He's not even saying the kids that go off.
Not like obese children or whatever. It's like an average 8-year-old is consuming as much sugar as our great grandparents did in a lifetime. So it's like, this is why we want to do this episode. So It's like not even just the sugar thing, but damn, the sugar thing. It's like, it's insane.
Yep. I want to look at French dressing because that is the one that I would probably go to.
There was freaking wars fought over sugar.
Name it. Or
I think India had a big war over sugar.
I don't think we really calibrate the French dressing has 6 grams of sugar
in 2 tablespoons.
It doesn't say.
For a serving.
It says serving size 31.98. What the frick?
Whatever.
Oh, corn syrup. Great.
Yeah. Which that's another thing I heard about honey. Try to get as local and like close to home honey as you can find, because a lot of the big companies like basically cut their honey with corn syrup to save costs and cut costs. And they figured out that China was doing that.
I eat honey so much.
So we like banned purchasing honey from China, but then China just started to have it sent to Malaysia, and then we started buying. We would be buying honey from Malaysia. So, just that kind of like workaround, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, it'd say it's from Malaysia. So then our consumers, whatever, or our product, whatever, the companies would purchase that. So it's like a lot of your honey could be fugazi too.
Yeah.
It's like it could just be cut with corn syrup and not even real honey. And yeah.
We really should get some local. Like, I found a couple farms, and it's not even more expensive either.
Oh,
which
probably
is so
not.
silly, but
Yeah. Well, and there's another one that like honey is somewhat. I mean, it's somewhat known as being like it can be good for you. Obviously, in relatively good quantities because it's so high in sugar. But again, it's antibacterial, has antioxidants in it. Like it's a good immune support. It's actually a good preservative too. But again, we get shit quality honey. Well, now all that's out the window.
That's crazy. And they wanted to say that. Like, they wouldn't have to put that on the bottle, right?
Oh, no, of course not.
It would just say pure honey.
Oh, yeah.
That makes me so angry.
What's your number one?
My number one is, I don't want to say necessarily whole foods. So maybe this excludes
the grocery store,
fruit and vegetables, but things that say organic, gluten-free, or dairy-free. The reason I have that as number one is we have such this craze with everything being gluten-free and dairy-free and diets that do that, which I think is awesome. If that's something that you want to do or you feel like you need to do for your body, awesome. Where I think it trips us up is we just have that be a one-stop shop blank statement. We go, oh, it's gluten-free. Gluten-free does not equal healthy. It just means it's gluten-free.
I don't have to look any further.
Yeah. Dairy-free doesn't mean it's healthy. It just means it's dairy-free.
You want to get real conspiracy too is like sometimes it's not really gluten-free.
Well, it's true.
Like there's still some gluten, but they don't have to, they can say it's gluten-free because it meets a certain threshold of sugar-free, but then you go look at the ingredients list and there's sugar in it. It's like
literally in the ingredient list.
Well, I thought it was sugar-free. Well, it's not enough to claim. Yeah.
So I think that's where we get tripped with those is we're equaling those things with healthy, but it's just because you see gluten-free on a box of cookies does not mean it's a healthy cookie.
Yeah. Gluten-free, dairy-free, organic cookies. It's like, use your head.
There is still the same amount of sugar in, and sometimes there's more because when you take the gluten out, it takes all the consistency away. So then they overpower it so that it's still worthy of you buying it. They need it to be good. So then sometimes they put even more sugar in it or more of these other random ingredients that you don't know what they are so that it tastes good. So now you're eating, I can eat more of these because they're gluten-free. Like, but you're eating more sugar than you would have if you ate a freaking Chips Ahoy.
Yeah. Because you actually feel bad about eating the Chips Ahoy. So you wouldn't eat as many. But because this says gluten-free on it, you're pounding the whole box going like, well, no, everything's good. Everything's fine.
It's the same thing what we were saying with the drinks. Of, it's sugar-free or it's a diet drink. Now I can have 3 in a day.
Yeah.
Like, well, you're still it's not water. Like, it's not a basic... There's still stuff in it because it's not water. As soon as you add anything to it, it's not water.
Yeah.
So now you're having multiple of those, whatever those ingredients are, you're consuming them at maximum because you think you're eating or drinking a healthy thing. That's why I put this as number one, because I also think that group of people or that movement that was very heavy with the gluten-free stuff, it was people that were aware of health in a certain way, and it was aware of, what's it doing to my gut? And I'm aware of my gut in the first place, that it's people that are pushing for health, but then they're getting tricked because they're just seeing the organic label on it, or they're seeing the gluten-free label on it, or the dairy-free label. Just because you take out one of the items doesn't mean that it's now healthy all around.
Yeah.
It's like alcohol doesn't have dairy in it.
Yeah. Dairy-free alcohol.
Yeah. It's like you could slap that on majority of food.
Yeah.
You could say,
I heard that about like hormones and antibiotics too. How like chicken packages will say no hormones, no antibiotics added. I don't remember who it was, but one of the major, it was either Purdue or somebody else. And this I heard from the podcast Barn Talk. They said that there was never antibiotics or hormones added to these products. They just put that on there as a marketing thing to get people to buy it.
Wow.
Because it sounded cool. But what's weird is,
then how are they bigger?
that's what's weird is, I had heard elsewhere that they give chickens and they give animals antibiotics so that they will add on more weight. So I have to kind of like fact check or look into those two things because they kind of contradict each other. But it was interesting of if it is true that they just put that on the label just to market to sell to you. It's just like what you're saying of dairy-free alcohol. It's like, well, yeah, it never had dairy in it, but it's a way for you to buy it because you go, oh wow,
cool.
Dairy-free, great, I can grab this. Or organic alcohol, okay, cool. It's like, well, that might not have been an issue at all.
Anyways,
it's just a way for them to put something on the label to attract you and to grab it. So I totally agree. I think it's like, it's really dangerous because people just see that label and they like shut off all thinking past.
Yes.
They just go, oh, great, gluten-free. Now I can have this. And that's all they ever think about.
And that also goes into the packaging. You see most gluten-free or organic stuff, it has a natural, like they brand it looking natural. They put it in a brown box. They have the font that goes along with a lot of the organic brands. Like you see that the Annie's organic mac and cheese.
It's
like, look at the ingredients. It's still horrible. If you have cheese coming out of a packet that's already somehow melted.
Yeah, and stays that way.
It's not good for you.
Yeah.
That they market it to trick you.
Yeah.
They market it to be like, well, this is just, okay, I can have this whole box of cookies. Yeah. It's the same way, like I said, like, yeah, it's gluten-free, but they're doubling it in sugar so it tastes good for you.
Yeah.
Like they're just going, well, but we're giving it to you gluten-free, kind of.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or it's like, it's organic. We had one ingredient in here that was organic. But everything else, question mark.
Yeah. Those are good ones. I think the last thing I have to say is my dad told me food is fuel. And that's all I ever try to see it as and think of it as. So if it's not fueling you, it really has no place then. It's just
waste.
It's just, it's bad. Like it's just harming and being negative kind of thing. And I think that's where, like for me, this dairy thing has switched so much is it's like, I can't find where this is fuel anymore.
Yeah.
You know, weighing the what's good about it versus what's not good about it. And it's like, there's just no...
It's money wasting.
Yeah, it's money wasting. It's probably not good for me anyways. Like it's not doing anything positive for me. So it's not fueling me. And I think people don't think of food that way enough as it being fuel. They think of it as how good does it taste or how convenient is it? How convenient is it with still tasting what good? Like we're not all 5-star restaurant chefs. So our food that we cook ourselves is probably going to taste like shit compared to what you what you can get at a grocery store or in a package from somewhere. But that is fueling you way more than the shit that you're buying that's prepackaged and convenient and, you know, tastes super, super, super good. So yeah, it's like food is fuel. Use it as that. Think of it in that way. I think try to change your mind to think of food as that way. Is it fueling you? And it's not this like why does anybody need to drink Zevias? There's absolutely There's absolutely no health benefit to it.
No.
There's none. So what is the point of it? It's for pleasure.
Enjoyment, yeah.
Enjoyment. That's not what food is for. It's to fuel you. So use it as that. And I think whenever you have this question of whether I should consume this food or this drink, asking yourself that question, is this fuel? I think can kind of sift through a lot of the nonsensical stuff where it's like, yeah, cookies aren't going to fuel me.
At least to not lie to yourself. Like food can be enjoyable. Food and drinks are part of the fun of life, of living and being able to have all this stuff and having, especially being in this country and the availability that we have to all of this food. But don't lie to yourself. Don't trick yourself into thinking that you're doing a good thing or you're eating a good thing or you're drinking a good thing when it's all the lists that we just talk about, and it might be small doses that you're getting every day. I also think with the food, I agree the stuff that we're probably making at home is not going to taste as good. I think we also are just going, well, I don't know how to cook this stuff, or it's never the same. It's like, just try a little bit harder.
Yeah, a little more effort.
Again, I go back to, there is so much information out there. It's not hard to look up a YouTube video, how to cook chicken just like they do in restaurants, and like find a healthier way to do it. Most of the time, we just don't know how to cook this stuff.
Yeah, it's like you figure out how to cook salmon so it actually like tastes or like texture and how it's supposed to be, and it's better. And it's not like you had to add 4 gallons of butter to it or canola oil or whatever. It was literally just like, oh yeah, you have to have it at a certain temperature while you're cooking it because it cooks better that way. And
it actually made it easier.
Yeah. Sometimes just a little bit of Googling and a little bit of effort.
And that's where
it taste better.
We didn't talk about the sauces and the dips, but that would be my substitute, is just making your own.
Yeah,
like
totally.
If you look at some of your dips that you like, try to find a healthier alternative and then just make it at home. It's so much cheaper, and most of the time, like, it's really not that hard. And just play with that. Like, that's what I said, that's my new, I love doing it. I love just mixing different seasonings together, throwing some olive oil in it so it turns into a sauce, or honey or whatever. Like, it's fun to me, and it makes food, it gives it that lift, like, or chicken, stuff that's like just, I don't like eating it on its own. It will now allow me to eat chicken.
Yeah.
If I just have a little drizzle of something on it.
But you know that what you made,
I know what's in it.
Sauce, you know what's in it, and it's still flavorful.
Yeah. It takes a little extra effort, but not really. Like, it's not a lot of effort.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. See you later.
See you later.